Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and we need to talk about the boycott. Okay, we need to talk about the boycott that people are trying to organize for this upcoming multi-banner. I'm going to talk about whether or not I think this boycott is going to be successful, whether we should join the boycott, and if boycotts are even successful in general. Okay, I think we should start with that point first. We have already seen exactly how Infold handles boycotts. Now, this is probably the most concerning thing that I have seen. It really shows how money hungry the company is. So with Infinity Nikki, you had an organized front, okay? You had an organized front from both CN players, from global players, from masses amounts of people online who don't even play the game were covering the game and the drama behind everything. And yet Infold did not truly change. You know, they didn't make anything better in the game. They basically organized the Infinity Nikki roundtable or whatever, you know, as a, for me, I think that was just truly a PR stunt to be like, oh yeah, we're listening to you, we're gonna put them all in this one pile here under the same like tags, so that way maybe we can look at it, or you know, mute the tag words, is what I'm thinking. Because there wasn't any change in the game. People were so upset with the whole bathtub scenario, the fact that there were like these fake sales in game and whatnot. Because if you actually calculate how much that bathtub would really be if there was no sale, it would have been like $70, when in reality they were selling it for like, what, I think 10 or something, or I forgot what it was. But they continued to do that. You know, with the next upcoming update, they released something else with the same kind of false advertising and all of those shenanigans. And yet we're okay with that in Love and Deepspace. Okay, we're okay with having those fake sale prices in Love and Deepspace, which is kind of crazy, which is kind of crazy. And then, you know, they had the whole story retconned, and they had all of these horrible things happen to their game. People couldn't even access it on the PC for like months or whatever it was, weeks or something. And you had so much coverage online about how horrible they treated their players, about how horrible everything was. People reviewed, bombed every platform that they were selling the game on, and people were leaving the game in droves. Okay, they were leaving the game. So it was shocking to see, and I was like, even their Reddit, their official subreddit, was full of comments of people like, I love this game, but I have to leave. I can't believe they treated it like this. They ruined the entire game and all of those things. And yet look at freaking Infinity Nikki now. Have they fixed the bugs? Have they? Have they fixed the grinding system in their game? Did they make it more fun? Or does it still feel like they ruined it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure people still think that they ruined their own game. And I feel like it is such a shame to see all of that effort, all of those struggles down the drain in not, you know, getting their act together. Infold looks like they haven't gotten their act together. Now, benefit of the doubt, okay? Benefit of the doubt. This is because Infinity Nikki is not their cash cow. Benefit of the doubt, maybe if Love and Deepspace actually, you know, if our community actually got its act together and did a proper boycott, maybe that would actually make Infold do something. I don't know. That is an if that I don't know I will ever see, to be perfectly honest. And that is because of very key factors when it comes to boycotts. Okay? So for any boycott to be successful in Love and Deepspace, we need at least like 3 factors here. Number 1, we need the support of the CN Lovelies. It is so important that we have the support of the CN Lovelies. And why do you ask? Why do you ask? How come global players can't just boycott and it be okay? Because we don't even make 1/3 of the revenue that CN Lovelies bring to the game. Now, yes, 1/3 of like $60 billion is still a lot of money, okay? Oh, billion, I say. $1,000,000 is still a lot of money. That is true, that is true. But realistically, if you look at that, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's not so much money. Like a company like that who sees that kind of digits every single month, okay, every single month, will not blink an eye if the entire global player base stop playing the game and stop spending money together as a whole, united front. Okay, I have never seen that happen, and that is so concerning. Now, that is why we need the CN Lovelies. The CN Lovelies are the main priority of Infold. Now, with the CN Lovelies, we need almost all of them. We need almost all of them. And we all know how parasocial that they can be. Pitting each other against one another, against the love interest and all of those things. Like, they have to get over all of that hatred against each other and actually unite and get us to unite also. That is the number one thing that needs to happen for a boycott to work. And I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this for so long. I was just like, oh my god, I don't know if this boycott is gonna work. What needs to work, what needs to happen, what needs to, come to fruition in order for Infold to actually make a change. And it is primarily the CN Lovelies need to get their act together and, unite with global players. That's number one. Number two, we need somebody who can organize and distribute all of the information properly. I don't know, I mean, it would be super helpful if there was like a council of all players from global player base, from all of the different countries, to the CN Lovelies also coming together and just like, saying, we need to change all of these things. Do you all agree? And then everybody just gets on the same page. There is no translation issues. There are no miscommunications about anything. And that everybody is coming from a sane perspective, okay? They're not trying to win one over another or anything like that. That is the second thing that we need. We need organization, okay? Organization across the globe when it comes to fighting Infold about this. Because last time there was a boycott that I was trying to, push forward. It turned out that it was just CN Lovelies who supported Silas who were trying to get global players to join. But they had kind of spread the information that, no, it wasn't, I don't think it was intentional. I think that the information spread in a way where a lot of misunderstanding happened and a lot of confusion happened. So when the banner actually came out, everybody was like, are we really boycotting this? I mean, look at Catch 22. It looks really amazing. There is that, okay? And then the third thing that we need is some sort of foolproof way, or at least 80% way of us basically squashing down anybody who would try to support Infold. Because all of these naysayers, all of the people who support Infold like it's their dying wish or something, they will say, why are you boycotting, Infold? They treat us so well. They give us all of these wonderful things, blah 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 blah. Colloquially, they're called bootlickers. And we need a way to quell them, because they can definitely 100% turn this whole boycott against us. And they can turn the supporters of the boycott into naysayers as well. It's like a whole freaking political campaign, okay? When it comes to boycotting, it's a political campaign within our little community. And I've always hated politics, alright? I've always hated politics. And yet, this is something that we need to talk about in order for anything like this to be successful, which is so crappy. Okay, we can't just all agree that Infold treats us badly. We can't just all agree that Infold, they manipulate us with FOMO, and they also, what else? They're monopolizing the whole aspect that they have the entire female player base under their thumb right now. And it's frustrating. It is frustrating. I don't talk about this as often as I used to, because the more I've seen, shenanigans happen in this community, the more I realize, like, damn, we are so bad at being a community that we fight over the pettiest things. We don't focus on things that actually need to be changed. And when something horrible happens, like Xavier's whole kit getting nerfed before release, when people try to bring those things up, it gets like mocked by the rest of the community. I'm like, what would happen if that happened to Silas, or if that happened to Zane or Raphael? Or it happened to Raphael, by the way. His kit was nerfed too, but nobody noticed. So yeah, it's frustrating. It is immensely frustrating to see all of these petty things override the more important issues in this community, that I don't know if we can really have a united front that is necessary for a boycott to even be remotely successful. If there is any hint of it being unorganized, or any hint of it being not taken seriously by the community itself, Infold will not give a crap. And that is the reality of it. Now, that is something that I think if we actually got together as a community, as a global community, including CN, I think that we could actually make a change. I genuinely do. But nobody is willing to one, do that work and actually form a community of people who had the time to do that, because we all have our own lives outside of the interwebs. We all have our own different schedules and whatnot. If people dedicated their lives to making a change in this game, that would be, one, admirable, and two, insane. But people can be insane for different reasons. But yeah, that's my little rant. That's my little rant. I think a boycott could be successful if we were united. But unfortunately, we are so divided by petty disagreements and hatred for dumb things that we just can't fight this major corporation. So, our best bet, somebody else comes into the female Otome 3D gacha game space, makes a better freaking game than Infold, and knows how to treat their game properly and their player base properly. Maybe then Infold will fix their act, okay? And that is a huge if. Anyway, that was a really long rant, and I hope I explained myself properly. I've tried recording this like 5 times, and it's just difficult, okay? Very difficult. Because I don't want to sound like a naysayer. I just want to, share all of the facts with you guys. A boycott could literally work if we were a united front. And yet that is not going to happen because of all the petty crap that this community puts everybody else through. It is so dumb. It is so stupid. And yet it is so gacha. It is so gacha community. It is so parasocial. It is frustrating. It is very frustrating. Okay, anyway. That's pretty much it. So should you or should you not join the boycott? That's up to you. Honestly, that is up to you guys. I will be continuing to do what I've been doing, and that is pulling on the last day, or at least close to the last day of the banner, because that is how I save money and not give so much money to the evil corporation that has been abusing us while still enjoying the game that I like. Okay. Does that make me a hypocrite? Maybe. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave your comments down below. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, bye bye everybody.